What's up, everybody? It's been a dadgum 60-second minute. That's consistent with everything. I have not done a Killing It with Greeze in literally way more than 60 seconds, way more than a minute. I'm so glad to be here. Dadgummit. Let's talk about whiskey and let's talk about why it's awesome. And that's the freaking stories that come along with it. Let's go. On this episode of Killing It with Greeze, we've got 140.2 proof William LaRue Weller Hazmat. This bad boy came out in freaking 2004 freaking. That's 7 years ago, Patrick. That's 7 years ago. Can you imagine that? This thing daggum sat in a bottle for about 7 years, and then we finally drank it. Do you want to know how we drank it? And that's what's freaking awesome. We have an event called Whiskey Weekend, where we have a VIP tasting where there's 3 offerings and then there's just a glass sitting there and they're like, what the heck's going on with the glass? Well, the 4th pour is what we call a wheel pour. You've seen it on our show before. It's called the Wheel of Irresponsibility. However, on Whiskey Weekend, it actually takes on some heavily allocated bottles instead of crazy stuff that Will and I may or may not want to try. Everything on the wheel during Whiskey Weekend you dadgum want to try, and this was on it this past year. Fun freaking story about this bottle. Tammy Brennecke. Tammy, dadgummit, I'm sorry. I love all y'all. She rolled the wheel for this. So we pick one person every time at Whiskey Weekend to spin the wheel to see what it is. There's a lot of hope that goes into this, right? There's a lot of people. There's like 20 people behind you be like, please, Lord, just don't land on that daggum, whatever. I don't know. What is it? Like Jim Beam. Oh, Sissel Roses. Sissel Roses was like a grain neutral spirit offering. I don't want to get into it right now, but that was an offering. You know what this is not? This is not grain neutral spirits. It's a wheated bourbon in the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection line. Comes once a year. This year, no George T. Stagg. So I highly anticipate the William LaRue Weller 2021 being a very sought after bottle. I typically am a George T. Stagg fan myself, and I will be going for the WLW 2021 this coming allocation season. But this bottle is great. Tammy got up there like a daggum champion, and she rolled that daggum wheel, and guess what? Boom! Hit William LaRue Weller Hazmat. The freaking place goes nuts, because you know why? This thing is 2014. It's hard to get, and it's the one and only time that William LaRue Weller BTAC got to 140 proof plus. Okay, this hits 140.2. Barely makes the mark. It's a hazmat situation. You daggum lighter match in the room with this bad boy freaking partying with you. You're going to want to make that one of those insurance claims, and you're probably going to want to find another insurance company because they're going to drop you because you're an idiot. Tammy rolled like a daggum champion. She did this, every single bit of this, outside of a couple of people showing up to a Nook party a little early. Adam had this, and so this is what's left since Whiskey Weekend. So, in pure Killing It with Grease fashion, let's kill it. And let's just see what's up. Boom. Oh, I just spilled it on my face. Oh, God, it's like aftershave on my face. Oh, it's like freaking it's a Home Alone moment. Oh, it's so freaking good. This is complex. This is leather. This is oak. It's not over oaked by any means. It's just so complex, multi-dimensional. Yeah, you get the classic Weller notes. I'm not going to deny that. However, the finish is, I barely took a daggum sip and it's still partying in my daggum mouth like it's freaking Mardi Gras or like a daggum church revival that lasted like 10 times or more days than it was supposed to. Oh man, Here's the deal. I know this show's called Killing It with Grease, but I really don't want to finish this right now. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Thank you so much for freaking watching Killing It with Grease. Like I said, I killed it. And I'm the Grease. This was a freaking great pour with a great memory. The purpose of this show, or this series, is to say that really fun bottles, really high-end bottles, have a story behind them. You're not going to remember a story necessarily over a Jack Daniel's number 7. Jack Daniel's number 7, great, freaking staple. Jack and Coke, go ahead and make it happen. You probably have a lot of stories, but not because of the occasion that you're celebrating. You know what I mean? Of like, man, this is a special pour that I invested half a mortgage on potentially, or a full mortgage on. I don't even know what your mortgage is. There's a lot of freaking houses out there, okay? I don't want to get into semantics. Anyway, all I'm saying is this is a special pour for a special moment, and naturally you're going to remember that situation, okay? That's what Killing It with Grease is all about. We killed it, we finished it, and I get to share the story behind that bottle, and I freaking love the whiskey community for that, because there's nothing like a consumable like this. You just consume it and you move on. Not with freaking whiskey. That's what I love about whiskey. There's a story that goes along with it. And I freaking love those stories. Love you guys. Connect with us on Facebook. We're on at the podcast, and we have a podcasters group. Connect with me at The Real Greeze on Instagram. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thepodcast. Connect with us, and let's do this.